guys, so welcome to the Strasbourg vlog. You notice that I'm wearing the same coat as the last vlog because it's the next day, so I didn't change. And I'm in the train heading to Paris. I just wanted to show you guys. I got the oatmeal on deck, so you know, it's kind of rushed this morning, so we got to eat in the morning. And yeah, so I'll keep you guys on track. We're gonna have to transfer stations in Paris, but luckily it's the East station, which is only 5 minutes away.
Alright guys, what's going on? So yeah, I just filmed a quick introduction when I was in the train station, but I also wanted to say, I don't know if I did, but my glasses broke yesterday somehow, but it's all good because I got another pair. So if that's why you're seeing me with another pair, then that's the reason why. So yeah, I'm in Strasbourg. What a beautiful city, and you can see just how empty the train station is. There's nobody here because of the strike, so I'm kind of risking it by traveling with the strike, but I already had all my tickets reserved, and up to now, I got here and all my trains coming back are still on time. And even if a train gets canceled, because I already have a ticket, I can take the next train. And I'm only leaving here at 3 p.m. I'm sorry I'm justifying all this to you guys, but because of my history of missing trains, I want to do that. But yeah, I'm leaving here at 3 p.m, so pretty early, just so I have enough time to get back. It's kind of cool. They have some pictures of like proposed renovations in the station, but yeah, it's really dark. However, you'll see right now as I walk through here, it's actually really sunny today, sorry about my voice, and I'm gonna show you guys stuff. So I just went on the TripAdvisor. They have a lot of cool things in the city. The main attraction seems to be the Cathedral of Strasbourg, which is a massive cathedral, so I will not miss that out. But in general, I'm just gonna try to walk around and explore the city. Actually, I just got out of the train station, like I just filmed this last segment like 2 seconds ago, but look at how cool their train station is. That's what I wanted to highlight. It's like a glass bubble. And the other thing I want to tell you guys is I got my victory apple. So, you know, I got here to the station without any issues, so I got to reward myself with this apple. So first bite is going to be on camera. Alright guys, so it's kind of interesting. The train station is kind of at the edge of the city, and you have to go like just in one direction, and then the city expands from there. So right now I'm just passing the river. You can see they have some beautiful paths just on the riverside where you can walk. And then furthermore, this is one of the most tourist heavy cities in France, even though it's like relatively smaller city, like if you compare it to the other big tourist cities like Paris. So it's nice because it's small, but it has a lot of stuff packed into it for me to see in this short time. Alright guys, this is take 2 since I hit the power button instead of the record button, but I'm currently in a neighborhood church. So this is not yet the cathedral that I mentioned, but you can see how beautiful it is. Look at all of the stained glass that lines the walls, and behind me is where the sun is, and you can see it the best there. And even if you look behind me at this wall, you can see the reflection of the colorful glass. So the more and more that I visit these spiritual places, it makes me much more open to kind of spirituality. When I was younger, I was definitely very anti-religious. I'm not religious currently, but I would definitely say I'm much more open to it. I see how much of an important thing it is for people in order to keep faith and you know, not lose hope. And this church in particular is in very good condition, as you might see, and that's because it was renovated in 2003. And that's kind of cool because that's the same year I was born, so special connection with this church here. Alrighty guys, and I just got out of the church. Here it is from the outside. It's quite an impressive building for not being like the main church of the city. But yeah, it's quite a crazy kind of change of environment when you just exit out of that church. Even though it's actually quite common in the town, it's just so peaceful and quiet in the church that it's like you get out and it's bright and everybody's moving. It's like a completely different world. But yeah, that's the beauty of it, having a church in the middle of the city. You can go over there and meditate and rest. And yeah, I definitely need to go to church service at some point. I keep on telling myself that I will, but I haven't done it yet. I guess so. Something kind of cool to see are these apparatus here. So you can see this one here and this one here. So this one is like 80 euros and this one is only 50. It's kind of interesting because that one is bigger, but that one is made out of granite, I suppose, so higher quality. But basically what that is, it's a raclette apparatus for making raclette. And actually in this region is where it's the most kind of common in the Swiss. We're closer to Switzerland, so that's where it's the most common. But anyways, in Strasbourg it's really common, and basically what it is you see that there's some spatulas that you can put underneath. You basically put like cheese and stuff in there, and then also in the hot plate you put like other meats. Actually, there's a tiny photo here. I'm not sure if you guys can see it, but it's just like meat, cheese, and like other pickles and olives, and you basically cook it yourself. So think about the Korean barbecue stuff, and it's really tasty apparently. But obviously I don't have one of those, so the only way I could go get it is by going to a restaurant, but I don't know if I would pay that price. Alright guys, so I'm currently in a really big bookstore, sorry. It has to be the biggest bookstore in Strasbourg, and I'm on the second floor. They kind of have this room where they have conferences, so I assume authors come here and give speeches. So, I mean, you guys can already imagine in your head, there's just a bunch of books, 3 stories, but it's kind of cool because now I also have a view of the entire square. Let me see if I can, there you go, nice little brightness change. And it looks like there's actually a market going on. And today's Wednesday, so I know in my city as well they have Wednesday markets, so that must be the same thing. I mean, it's just closed, so it doesn't really interest me, but I think if I walk through it, might as well like check it out. But yeah, it's kind of cool to have this high ground view of the square, and yeah, that's it for this section. Alright guys, so I'm in another, oh, I thought there was another step, but there wasn't. I'm in another square, and you can see behind me we have the Opera House, but the door is locked, so I can't even get inside, but it's all good. It's pretty cool from the outside anyways. And then behind me you have the actual square that I just referenced. So you have like a memorial to a general or something. And then it's lined by all of these cool trees. So I think I've showed you guys these trees before in one of my prior vlogs, but especially here, like close to Germany, I know where my uncle's from in Hanau and Frankfurt, they're everywhere. And they're so interesting when they have no leaves. And I don't remember how they look like when they actually have leaves. So maybe, I mean, I'll be here during the spring, so we'll be able to see, but it's quite cool to see these lined up on the street. I think I'm getting quite lucky here because I'm literally like stumbling upon all like the cool places. So here you have the Square of the Republic. So you can see, first of all, like the cherry blossoms they have, or those trees with the pink flowers, they're all in bloom, and even up there there's a bunch of flowers in bloom. So it's definitely interesting that it's not cold enough to kill the plants here, because where I live there's no such thing as a public square with flowers in the month of March. But yeah, so basically Strasbourg was controlled by the German Empire until the First World War. So when Germany lost the First World War, they had to give back Strasbourg, and they had taken it, I forget, but beforehand. And basically this was a square specifically designed by the German Empire, probably Otto von Bismarck, sorry. And all of the administrative buildings and important buildings are found here. So you can even see another one behind me, and just all across the square you see a bunch of impressive buildings. I just looked at that one and it's not free access, but I'll check the other ones to see as well. Alright guys, so I'm still on the square now, and I'm next beside the National Library. The name literally is National Library and University, so that university part makes me worried, because every university in France you need in France you need the card access to get inside, but maybe since it's national that means that it's free access. But anyways, so I'm still on the square and I'm gonna go check that out now. One of the passerbys that I asked recommended me to go, so let's see if I can get inside. So I'm actually in the university. I assume it's called the University of Strasbourg, but I'm not entirely sure. But look at this, hold on. So basically, look at how crazy that is. It's so cool. I only have access to the second floor, which I'm currently on. Like above that you need to get in with a card, but it's such a cool campus. And yeah, you can see there's just people working on their laptops all around, and there's also a library, but I think it's on the upper floor, so I can't get there. But yeah, that's a really sick staircase, and so yeah, this was like the library university that I just entered. All right, no way, guys. So take a look at that. That is the actual library. Sorry, I need to zoom out. But that is the library that you can have access to, I guess, if you're a university student. But I couldn't. But it says it's the second biggest library in France. So that means that I've been to both the second and the first biggest libraries in France. Obviously, I didn't get to go inside this one, but if you guys look at my Paris vlog from last week, I was in the National Library of France, which is without a doubt the biggest one. So I didn't know that the second biggest one was in a city like Strasbourg. I would think it's in one of the other big cities, but it's cool. So it was built by the German Empire, actually, and then damaged during the Second World War, and it looks like they kind of repaired it in 1950 to be in use again. All right, and before I leave the Square of the Republic, or the Republic Square, I had to go to the center just one time. You can also see even more flowers just there. and I wanted to get to the center in particular because there's a cool monument. Oh, so it's a war monument for the First World War, the Second World War, and I think the Algerian Wars, which are very important in France because a lot of French citizens died in those wars. But yeah, that's kind of it for the square. There's one more building, the National Theatre, which I'm gonna check out. Hopefully it's open, unlike the opera, and I mean, we'll find out soon.